And Sheffield United. Newcastle won at Southampton, Wolves against Brighton and Burnley versus Tottenham both ended all square. There's still one match to take place with Leicester City playing Aston Villa on Monday. And with me over the next hour to go through all of the weekend's talking points are Ryan Giggs and Matthew Upson. Welcome along to both of you. But there really is only one place to start, and that is at Old Trafford for the Manchester derby. Now, there was contrasting team news as well for both sides. For United, Captain Harry Maguire was passed fit after an ankle injury, but City's talisman Kevin De Bruyne missed out with a shoulder problem. United made 2 changes from their last league match. Williams and James were recalled. Pep Guardiola made 5 changes for City. Cancelo, Otamendi, Zinchenko, Foden and Sterling were brought in. Commentary comes from Jim Baker.
What made you happiest today?
Well, the desire, attitude, commitment, the connection between fans and players and the team, because what a day they've had today, both the players and the fans. It's been, of course, they make us defend. That's just that type of team they are, but our fans can see players with commitment and attitude and desire, then we've done our job then as a coach today.
When we spoke before the game, you said we need to be on the front foot. Is that exactly what you got?
Well, I think so. I think we at times pressed them and pushed them back, and we tried to be aggressive with the wing backs and 3 up front, so we ended up with 3 at the back. So when we hit the press, I think we made them make mistakes, and of course we're happy with the result. I can't put a finger on anything, but at times you'd like to defend with the ball in the team sometimes, but I'm not going to complain.
Pep, Derby Day defeat for you. What's your reading of the game and how it unfolded?
Well, good game. We play good. Our positional game was really good. We missed a little bit, especially in the first half when we arrived in position the 3 quarters to be a little bit more aggressive. We conceded a goal. We should avoid it. And after 5 minutes for the spectators, but not much, 1 or 2 counterattacks. Second half was good, and congratulations United.
Were you better in the second half, do you feel? You seemed sharper in the second half.
Well, we're a little bit more aggressive, yeah, but in terms of the way we play good in both sides.
Well, we will come to Manchester City in just a moment. But first of all, for Manchester United, what a huge win and a huge moment in their season. And Ryan, you played in so many of these matches, of these Manchester derbies. Give us a sense of what the dressing room would have been like after the match.
Oh, no, it'd be buzzing. I mean, United are in good form, but to beat City, local rivals, and obviously they're going for that top 4 as well, it was huge. And the manner as well, you know, concentration, desire, imagination with the first goal. So, yeah, Ollie will be pleased. You know, you see the fans, the scenes at the end, the players, and yeah, it's these sort of games that you miss when you retire, because the atmosphere is buzzing, and that last 5 minutes, the crowd getting behind you, and no, United fully deserved it today.
Do we feel now, when we watch Manchester United, that real progress is being made?
I think this match signifies that a little bit. That's why I think, OK, it's a derby win, but also it just ramps up the belief, I think, around the club that they are getting back to the club and the team that they have been in the past, and that for me is more important than just the Derby Day win.
How much credit needs to go to Ollie then for his tactics today and the way he set up?
Huge credit. You know, he changed the system. Principles still stay the same, but yeah, he left Scott McTominay out, started with Dan James. So a couple of changes from last week where I thought they played really well against Everton, especially first half. So no, Ollie deserves all the credit. Obviously, Fernandes has come in and been a revelation. He's lifted the play. So, no, both Ollie and the players deserve, you know, a lot of credit. And it's incredible, Matt, that one player can come in and can actually have such a big impact, because we've seen it since Bruno Fernandes has been in the side.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see, isn't it? And it's a player that maybe United haven't had that style of player for a little while. And we were talking earlier about how the team have to get used to him. He's making so many good runs. He's popping up in areas, especially when the ball's wide. His timing in arriving in the box has been superb since he's been at the club. It's just a matter of using him enough and the players finding him with the ball.
Yeah, and it's one thing talking about a big signing, and it's another for that player to actually deliver, and he certainly has so far. And if we look at Manchester United's last 10 results, we have seen progress because they're unbeaten in 10. They've kept 8 clean sheets as well. That must be quite good for you to look at, considering at the start of the season there were lots of question marks over Man United and where their season was going.
Yeah, and Bruno Fernandes has been part of 8 of them games. But, yeah, the defence has obviously been really solid. And I don't think yet United are that sort of team where you can outgun teams where you score 2, we score 3. They might do the odd game. So it's even more important that they have clean sheets and they have that foundation and that foundation to build upon. And then when they do go ahead and they have got a clean sheet, they're devastating on the counter-attack.
And clean sheets are such an important part, aren't they?
It's huge. It is your foundation. It's what you build off as a team. And if that's right, then everything else can flow and flourish around it. But there were some individual standout performances today. I thought Wan-Bissaka was absolutely superb against Sterling, and Harry Maguire as well. Such an imposing figure, and his mentality, his body language before the game at the start. You know, when he didn't have the handshake, he kind of marched straight past the City players, didn't even look at them, was very focused on what he wanted to do, and you know that showed in the game.
How much has Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka improved throughout the course of the season? Do you feel like they've made progress?
I feel like they've, as the team's got better, so have they. Or it's the other way around. As they've got better, so has the team. They affect each other. And I think the confidence has got better, the belief that they can play. And having 8 clean sheets like that, I mean, that's some achievement.
And I think what's been overlooked as well, Harry Maguire, since he's been permanent captain as well, that's a big ask. You know, for a new signing to come in and to take that role upon, it's a huge role, and he's done it seamlessly, and you know he's just grown into the role and got even better. And you'll know, as a centre half, if you're calm on the ball, that goes right through the team, and you have that stability, just like a goalkeeper, and it just goes right through the team, and that's what's happening at the moment.
Okay, that's a good point, actually. So should we actually look at the goals? Let's look at the opening goal. Ryan, first of all, was this a free kick?
No. I'd like to say it was, but I thought it was soft. But yeah, you see in players now, they go down very easily. Mike Dean maybe thought that he's gone through the back of him, but I thought it was soft. And you usually see the reaction of the players. OK, Bruno Fernandes has gone down, but no one else has really appealed.
I think it's the only thing that the referee's thought is that he has gone through the player to get the ball. Even though there was barely any contact, I think the referee from his position just felt that he went through the back of him, and Bruno Fernandes, you know, did well to buy it, really. The referee, he bought the dive that he made. OK, well, let's look at the goal itself. And I know you were having a big debate on Matchday Live about whether this is off the training ground or not. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I thought it was. Well, for these reasons. I know that City, they like that high line, and also what's your centre-forward not doing in the box. So I also, you know, could understand if they've just seen it, because they are, you know, Fernandes is a smart player, and they've just seen something, Aguero as the defender, so maybe they've seen that. But I just feel that it has come off the training ground, maybe something they've worked on, and yeah, a little bit of a double hit there, which maybe has deceived Ederson, but Ederson in the past would save that.
The reaction time from Fernandes chipping the ball to the movement of Martial, for me, was too close. It was too perfect.
Yeah.
So I think if it was just off the cuff, I don't think he'd have been able to play it as easy, because Martial just all of a sudden sprints. He looked disinterested, and then bang, he's gone. So I think to be able to react in that way, he must have known that it was going to happen, you know. So
So you're both in agreement here.
I feel it was a training ground move, personally.
Should Ederson have done better, though, Matt?
Yeah, but like Ryan said, I think it ricochets off the shin. So for a goalkeeper, you lose 2 things. One, the ball doesn't drop down further enough, so you lose a fraction of a second in the fact the ball hasn't dropped to his foot, and also it's coming off a really hard surface, probably off his shin pad or off his shin, and it's just cannoned off the wet turf and just didn't get down quick enough. I think it was... We might be being a bit harsh to say it was a mistake, but I think he will be upset, I think, that he didn't save it.
Yeah, he's a quality goalkeeper, you know. More often than not, he will save that, and especially in a big game like that, it's fine margins.
We'll certainly be upset with the way the second goal was conceded, because this was McTominay, and Ederson, more than anyone, will probably not be able to forget about this for a long time.
I think it's interesting to see, first of all, where Scott McTominay starts from. He's actually deep in his own box, so for him to end up there, he's on the front foot, and Ederson wants to get things going. Obviously, there's a few minutes to go.
So the right intention there from Ederson.
The right intention, he plays the ball, and maybe because by this time it had rained a lot, I'm trying to give Edison sort of
blame the weather.
defend him, yeah. But it does skip off, but no, it's a big mistake. And he made a couple of mistakes, Edison, unlike him. But also, that is a brilliant finish. And like I say, on the front foot, moving ball and to curl it into the goal.
It's composed, isn't it? It's a lovely curl. He has to bend it round the player as well, doesn't he? He has to kind of just feed it round the Man City player. But Edison just had a lapse day mentally. He just looked a fraction off the mental decision making that makes him a top player. And when you are in matches like that, mistakes happen.
And I guess it happens, doesn't it? It happens to every player. It happens to all goalkeepers at some point.
It happened last week with David De Gea.
It did, didn't it?
It can happen, and normally when a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it's a goal.
It's just the worst part is that it was in such a big game. But from Manchester United's perspective, they've got good momentum now, haven't they? What do you think of their chances in terms of the rest of the season? Are we looking at a team that will be playing European football?
I do, yeah. I think you've just touched on it there, momentum. So many things are going for them. Fernandes has come in and done so well. They've got players coming back. Bailly's back. McTominay's back. Hopefully Marcus Rashford will be back soon. And they're still in two cups as well. So they have to keep it bubbling. And that you can imagine it in training now. It's just a different dynamic. Everyone's buzzing. Everybody wants to play. And competition for places will be there. So it's just what Ollie wants. And at this stage, whether you're trying to avoid relegation or you're going for Champions League, momentum is huge.
It's always great when you're winning, isn't it? But then for Manchester City, on the other hand, things have taken a strange sort of turn. And you both mentioned that Edison is not at his best. Is that a reflection of the wider team? Because we're not seeing City at their best, are we?
No, I don't think they're at their best. I feel his team selection today, especially across the midfield, it was very similar. The players have offered the same almost, very technical, like coming to feet a lot. I think they've really missed Kevin De Bruyne, his ability to burst through midfield, break a line, and he's aggressive with his passing, isn't he? He likes to hit the ball forwards and play aggressive passes. So they just lacked a little bit of that to me today and looked a bit blunt, if I'm honest. And then if you add a couple of mistakes to the mix, you end up getting beat. But they still play lovely football. They pass the ball, and Pep is fixated on that, isn't he? Yeah. He loves watching his team play really good football, and he will always defend them and defend the way they played every time after a game, even when they lose. Yeah, certainly so. He did in that interview, didn't he? Yeah. Well, he's actually suffered the most defeats he has in his entire career, 7 in a season, and there's 10 games to play, but he will not be happy looking at those records.
No, and I think a big part of that is the defence. Fernandinho's done great, but missing Laporta, obviously, Company leaving, they're big players to miss. And the way that City play, they play they gamble a little bit because the fullbacks will be high and very much there'll be 2v2 at the back. But in the past, they've been able to handle that. When you got Otamendi coming in, Fernandinho, it just doesn't look the same that when they are on the ball and lose it, they're not as safe at the back. The centre-back position is a bigger problem than what I think a lot of people give it credit for.
Really?
It's a major problem for me because you're losing a top midfield player and you're playing him at centre-back. And he's an OK centre-back, but he's not top centre-back, is he? And I think it's a double whammy in that sense.
Yeah. OK, well, let's move on.